round 2 of Swiss. So I'm really excited.
Yep, so we're going to have Nightlight Squids versus Rose Knight. We got everybody in the lobby. We're ready to go. We are going to get into this as soon as we're ready over there. So, looking into it now, we're going into Rainmaker on the Reef. You know, very, very snowbally reef, Rainmaker type. If you don't get the knockout, no lead is safe.
Yeah.
So, definitely something that can be very volatile and, you know, can also be kind of hype.
For sure. You said you had the bracket pulled up. Can you see how either of these teams did in their last set?
Yeah, so going back into round 1, we got Rose Knight took the set between No Names League 3-1, and Nightlight Squids had a bye thanks to a dropout from Raging Inc. So they got a 3-0, quote unquote.
So this is going to be fun then. This is Nightlight Squid's first match that they're going into today, and Rose Knight coming off of a win. You know, it's kind of a really hype way to start it up.
Yep. So yeah, two teams with wins. Going to start to define who's kind of making the top side of this bracket. Obviously, Nightlight Squids hasn't really proven themselves yet, so hopefully we'll see some interesting gameplay out of them. But just quickly waiting for the last person to ready up before we get in the game here. But yeah, I'm ready for this.
Me too. I'm super excited. I can't wait to see some fun. I'm really hoping for some interesting comps and fun weapons to be played.
I've been waiting for quad sploosh craziness happening.
Could be a thing.
Oh, everybody's ready.
Here we go.
I heard the noise.
Me too. And here we are going into Rainmaker on the Reef with our first that we're able to see set of Fresh Start Cup.
I'm disappointed by how meta these comps are. So we got a pretty typical comp coming from Nightlight Squids, Charger, Slosher, and Parries. Slightly different stuff coming from Rose Knight here. They actually got the sloshing machine coming out, which you haven't seen that much of recently, but it looks like the initial fight has gone 2 down for both teams, kind of just with Rose Knight kind of having a little bit of an advantage in map control here.
Yeah, and it looks like they're just trying to kind of get some of these kills and regroup before they pick up the Rainmaker. And they finally do, and they're beginning to make this push. They decide to take up this alley here on the side, which is definitely, to me, kind of the faster route, but a little more dangerous because it can be stopped a lot faster, too.
Yeah, but that's a really good push to start off with, 17. Looks like it's actually going to keep going here because they still have 3 down, and now the Charger's the only one left alive. If he can't land the shot, this is going to be a knockout here.
Yeah, that was a pretty quick knockout. Exactly kind of what we were sort of anticipating, that maybe some of the teams could take it pretty quickly. But yeah, they played a really great game there. Getting a lot of those splats really fast was what made them be able to pick up the Rainmaker and go for that knockout.
Yeah, basically the start was pretty even, but they had more map control, and they used that actually pretty effectively in order to kind of get more kills and then push the Rainmaker forward. And once they realized, hey, we can actually run this now, they all went for it. So good on them. But that is Rainmaker Reef, one of the most snowbally game types in the game. So Snapper Canal, Splat Zones, a little less so. So maybe we'll see a little bit of a comeback here from Nightlight Squids.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see kind of how this comes together. Lately, I've been finding that Splat Zones has actually been a really fun mode for me to play. I love Clan Blitz the most, but Splat Zones is a really close second.
Yeah, I mean, nobody really has... You can't really have much bad to say about Splat Zones. Some people have problems with, the penalty system, but, that's, the worst the criticism is of Splat Zones. It's... As far as the competitive scene goes, there's definitely a general consensus that right now, at least, that is the most competitive mode. Especially in Japan, that's almost for some tournaments it's exclusively played. So, yeah, I definitely see. I could definitely see Nightlight Squids coming back if they don't get that early wipe like they did the last game.
Yeah, I completely agree. So you're saying Splat Zones is right now considered probably the most competitive mode, right? Would you say Splat Zones is the most similar to, say, Turf War?
Yeah, it's essentially a more focused Turf War, a more balanced mode because there is a knockout like that you can knock out. So if you're totally dominating, you can be rewarded for that, and you actually gain points that matter as the game goes on. Whereas with turf war, it's more of a, I mean, people say this every time, but it really is the last 30 seconds all that matters. Like,
Yes.
a team can have control up to that, and then if they don't stop that last push, whatever lead they had was irrelevant. So,
For sure.
there's definitely some people that still like it, but a lot of people have problems with it because of that.
Yeah.
But getting into the game here, just getting a look at the comps, we got a Slosher Deco coming out from Nightlight Squids here, and Rose Knight. I think that was pretty much the same comp,
Yeah,
except an
I think
H3 is coming out instead of, I think it was a 10 attack or something last time.
Yes, I think that's kind of what they had swapped there. So definitely it looks like they're going for a little bit more range here too. So that's something that, they had done pretty well on Rainmaker, so maybe they're just working towards trying to find something that's going to ink a little better. Yeah,
it just looks like Rose Knight off the start is getting a lot more paint on the map, and it's kind of allowing them to get these early advantages here. The 3 down there, pretty much all off the back of getting all that paint going on. And it's just from the nature of their comp, really, having that Splatling as well as the H3 there puts a lot of paint on the map early, and if Nightlight Squids isn't able to put enough pressure, it kind of just snowballs in from there. So hopefully Nightlight Squids is going to be able to come back in here, because they do have 2 down on the side of Rose Knight.
Yeah, having that ball come into zone definitely helps, but this map has a very difficult time with those types of specials taking control. So finally they are able to get to control, put a decent size penalty on the side of Rose Knight. So that's going to be something that maybe they could take advantage of there.
Yeah, they just didn't really get a full setup going. They did get knocked back out there, and now with a full wipe, Rose Knight's looking pretty good to kind of clear out most of their penalty here. They do have 1 down now, so this might be an opening for Nightlight.
And I think also one of the things that Nightlight needs to focus on there, that Rose Knight was so up close to their spawn there that they had to find a way to get out of base without kind of dying over and over again. So something that seems to have happened, and it looks like Nightlight is working to take the zone, and they do get it.
Yeah, let's see if they hold this one a little bit longer. Oh, Brick gets a nice, very, very important kill right there. Puts a lot of pressure on the enemy team, and now the bubble's coming in. This might be a recap here.
Yeah, I think that's kind of seems to be the way that it's going to continue to go. That each time, I mean, all those kills that Brit's stacking up over and over again with the slosher machine and those bombs are definitely something that they're going to kind of rely on here.
Yeah, that was a good job from Rose Knight as well. Like, as a team, like once they saw that they were kind of losing the zone advantage there, they kind of backed up, got their specials, and pushed right back in, and it worked really well for them.
Yeah. Definitely. That's, what this game is all about, too, that having that team communication. That's something I mentioned earlier as well. Be sure to be, having that communication. That maybe something with these newer teams, maybe they're not communicating as well, and that's going to make or break a win.
Yeah, and the other thing they did really well is, they definitely have a bend without breaking kind of mentality going on. You see them not overcommitting to things very well, and Nightlight Squids is actually having a very hard time punishing it.
Yeah. And that was a, pretty quick knockout, all things considering there. Great job by Rose Knight to take the zone over and over again, and each time, like you said, that they lost it, they were able to regroup and come back.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the communication was good from them. So I'm wondering how the comms went for the side of Nightlight Squids, or even if they are using comms, who knows?
Yeah.
But the Flings are there kind of getting the 4 kills for their team, showing a little sign of life here, but obviously zones is, it can go that way. So maybe going into tower control here, we might see a little more success from their comp, but they weren't really running a blaster. Maybe they'll pull one out for this one, but it'd be interesting to see if Nightlight Squids is able to adapt here. Adapt. Say my words right.
It's okay. Words fail when it's hot in the summer. But I completely agree. I'd love to see we did have a blaster on the side of Rose Knight just before, so I think that we could kind of expect to see that again. And if they do bring something like that on the side of Nightlight Squids, it might help them a little bit more at tower control.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd love to go into a Clan Blitz Manta Maria, but, might not be...
Rose Knight is doing their darndest to make sure you don't see that.
Yeah, a lot of people tend to do that.
I mean, as far as Clan Blitz goes, Manta Maria is not the best one to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be pretty fun because there's lots of cool like clutch jumping plays that happen on it. I'm just saying there's other good Clan Blitz modes.
Definitely. It's a fun map that I find to play, but I agree with you. I think I enjoy playing it because of those jumps. Especially, I'm not in X rank, so
I like
not
the
a lot of
jumps. I
players
just
know
don't like that you can throw it immediately after you land.
Right. That's true. Is that one of your reasons? You said with a couple alterations.
It's
Clan
just you
Blitz would be your
can't
favorite?
even if you're ready for it, you can't punish them because they can throw it out first frame and you can't stop it. So if the enemy team doesn't mess up, it's free points if they get the jump off. So
Yeah.
you know, it's not horrible in that regard. I think it's just, you know, they should drop it so they should have to follow up a little more. But you know, that's balanced talk.
Yeah.
Who cares
for sure.
about that? We're going into tower control here.
Here we go. And it looks like we do see a blaster on the side of Nightlight Squids come out, and we still have one on our side of Rose Knight there.
Yep, and they're actually bringing out the Forge Pro here for the bubbles. So hopefully they actually have quite a bit of range on the side. I guess that's a custom blaster, not a range blaster. But you know, the range on the side of Rose Knight here is actually doing really well for them. It's going to get them another early advantage here. But you know, Melon there going to be able to shut him down as well. So hopefully they're going to be able to stop this from being a true push.
Yeah, I think that's something to be said there. You know, launching those missiles, great kind of thing that we've been seeing in meta all over lately. So definitely something coming forward. But right away, Rose Knight is getting into that first checkpoint. They do clear it.
Oh, couldn't quite see that person from Nightlight Squids there, and does get picked off. And not going to be enough to really stop tower here because it looks like Brit was able to flank as well. And now they're going to get up to the second checkpoint here and kind of get this begin clearing this one out.
So much of the map is purple here too, so it's very difficult for Nightlight Squids to actually be able to do any maneuvering throughout.
Oh, that's a full wipe.
And that's the second full wipe that we've seen this game so far. Even right as they're coming out, that inkjet is right there prepared to pick people off. So unfortunately, I think that this is it for Nightlight Squids.
Yeah, I mean, we did mention before the set happened that, you know, this mode can get very snowbally once that second checkpoint is clear. And it looks like right now, yep, they're gonna go for the full knockout here. So that is 3 knockouts in a row for Rose Knight, looking very strong in this set.
Yeah, great job from both teams playing, though. We definitely saw a couple of things we didn't expect from Nightlight Squids coming out. Rose Knight did play really well, and they were able to just shut everything down.
Yep. So yeah, Rose Knight definitely trying to be contenders for the top of this, you know, this Swiss. That's the word I'm looking for. This Swiss bracket here. Oh my gosh.
No, it's very true. But also at the end of those, when we see kind of the different ranks that each of the players are at, I think that has something to be said as well. You know, if you're not as familiar playing with a specific mode, especially if it's the map mode combination that maybe you haven't practiced as much, it does begin to be a little challenging.
Yep. So that being a 3-0, we're going to have to wait a little bit for our next round here. So we're going to go to a quick break. So definitely stay tuned because we're going to catch more action from the Swiss tournament here.
See you guys soon.